Hey everyone, it's March 13, 2021, and later tonight we have one of my least favorite traditions during the year, which is we change our clocks for daylight saving time. And I hope some of my viewers can find a way to opt out of that in some way, right? If you own a business or if you network with the right people, you can always agree to use a different time as what the so-called federal government wants us to use, right? There's nothing stopping you, right? Actually, a lot of people are using a different time zone than where they're living right now because, well, we're all working remotely right now, right? There's nothing stopping you from creating your own private time zone, right? The clocks will work just fine without the feds telling the clocks to work, right? A lot of people have lost sight of that for whatever reason. And then the feds want to switch us to permanent daylight time, right? And which is really bizarre when you think about how time was invented in the first place, right? See, I don't use either of those types. I actually prefer mean solar time, believe it or not, because I love to view the night sky. And so when I'm out here in Missoula, Montana, I intuitively know that it's about 23 minutes after Wallace, Idaho, even though it's an hour according to the federal government, right? With whatever I'm trying to view in the night sky, it's 23 minutes. Now, unfortunately, a lot of people have conformed to whatever the rest of society, whatever the government wants them to conform to, that they have a hard time thinking otherwise, right? I'm going to talk about an example of bias against singles that I noticed. Not in myself, but this is with somebody else now. I'm a private tutor, and about a year ago I had a student. He was studying 9th grade chemistry, and his mom had called me to cancel a couple of classes. And when I got back with the student 2 weeks later, he was very behind, not surprisingly. And every time I have a student who's a few weeks behind, it's always a dilemma. They need to study for whatever exam is coming up. And that's the most important thing on their mind, because if they fail that exam, oh my God, their parents are going to take away their cell phone. And that's their life, right? Or if it's an older student, sometimes the car, right? And so that's the most important thing in their life. And oftentimes that comes at odds of actually learning the material. And so I had a few frustrating sessions like that with the student. And I wanted to confront the mom about why she had let him skip 2 classes and caused that situation. I was pretty angry at that time. And not just for myself. It's not just that I lost a few weeks of income, but all the drama afterwards. Okay, so I talked to the mom, and she explained to me that her son was very depressed because he didn't go to prom because he had just broken up with his girlfriend. And without even thinking, I asked, what does that have to do with not going to prom? I didn't even think, because in my mind, prom can be done without a date. See, I didn't even think. It comes so naturally to me now. And his mom was like, oh yeah. And his mom actually agreed with me. The son actually thought that was the craziest thing I had ever blurted out. I mean, he already doesn't like chemistry very much, and now he hears this statement, and it's the craziest thing he's ever heard in the world. And his mom agreed with me. The son didn't. And after I finished with him for that semester, I told him next year, go to prom no matter if you have somebody to go with or not. If you don't, that's even better, because that means that you have 7.8 billion potential partners around the world, right? Unfortunately, the following year, nobody could go to prom. That's kind of unfortunate. I would have loved to see how it turned out with him. But that just goes to show how much we love conforming, that we don't even think anymore. My heart sank when I saw his response to what I said. My heart really sank, not just for him, but for the fact that so many people just live like mind slaves. Just look at tonight with daylight savings time, how many people were going to opt out of it, right? I'd love to opt out of it. I already do with my viewing of the night sky, right? Because the night sky doesn't listen to the federal government. I wish I could opt out of it with my work or my teaching. Why don't you join me in opting out of daylight saving time tonight?